We'd like to recognize sponsors. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street in Hempstead, Texas. Their phone number is 979-826-8008. Diva Skin Conditioner, located at divafeet.com, D-I-V-A-H feet.com. Their phone number, 903-270-0026. Prairie View Athletic Club, serving student athletes since 1986. Their phone number is 936-857-5817. Temple of Refuge Ministries, located in Prairie View, Texas, at 45372 Old Highway 290. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, several locations to serve you. Katy, Rosenberg, Brenham, Bryan, College Station, and Waller, Texas. Their phone numbers, toll free, 855-391-2149. If you or your business would like to be a part of the sponsorship team here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, contact us at 832-213-8824. It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. From time to time, we are forced to do some things that we just have to do. It's good news going around throughout the Southwestern Athletic Conference, even if it's from down the road. But it is what it is. We're going to introduce to some and present to others the newly hired volleyball coach for the Texas Southern Tigers. That is none other than Miss Gabrielle Floyd. How are you today, ma'am?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for asking.
Well, look, before we get any further down the road, is it okay if we call you Gabby?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, I just wanted to get permissions. You know, I know I'm a Panther and you're a Tiger, and I didn't want you to think I was being disrespectful or anything like that. But
no.
Look, congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you.
You know, some would say it was a long time coming, and those like, well, who is Gabrielle or Gabby Floyd? I don't know, but you've earned your stripes, literally and figuratively, being a Texas Southern Tiger. But if you don't mind, before we go any further, why don't you introduce yourself and tell your journey, how you landed where you are right now?
Okay. Well, I am from the Houston area. I grew up in Missouri City, Texas. I graduated from Willow Ridge High School, class and character. And so from there, I was a walk-on student athlete at Texas Southern. My initial plan was to go somewhere out of state because I just wanted to be away from home. I'm the youngest of four kids, and so I just wanted to kind of feel like I was forced to make sure that I was growing up and, you know, not having to lean on my family for everything. But plans had changed. God had a better plan in mind for me. And so I went to Texas Southern. I asked the coach like a few days before preseason if it was okay to be a walk-on student athlete. And she agreed to take a chance on me. So that's where I started. Now, I did play tennis there as well. And so I played tennis for 3 years, but I basically grew up in the volleyball program. And so after my senior season, we were still at the tournament, actually, at Pine Bluff. And I decided, you know, after I had kind of calmed down after we got put out the tournament, I'm still a little bitter about that because I'm competitive. But I went on and asked our head coach even before we left the facility if she would mind me being a graduate assistant for her program. And so she looked at me a little strange, you know, because we hadn't even left the facility. And she like, you know, already looking forward to other things. But for me, I just didn't see my life without volleyball. So, you know, I was looking for that next step. So after I graduated, I was allowed to be a GA. And then when I got my master's in 2005, I became an assistant coach. And so I've been there under two different coaches, and, you know, everything has turned, and I'm here now as a head coach.
Well, you know, that's why we do these things, Gabby, because a lot of people don't know the hard work, the consistency, the stick-to-itness of being dedicated to something that you love. We have a little motto here at the Open Mic: love what you do, simplify what you do, and then master what you do. And when you do that, regardless of what level you're performing your duties on, it truly never feels like work. Now, you were assistant for a long time. You've been under two coaches. What is it like for you right now that you're actually sitting at the chair as the head volleyball coach? Although no matches under your belt yet, has this all
Well,
been like a fantasy world to you right now?
well, technically, let me go back and correct you. I was head coach for a day for two matches, once in 2016 and then another time in the conference tournament in 2018. So I do have two wins under my belt. We played Alcorn and then we beat Jackson in the tournament. So I do have two. But, fully being recognized as a head coach, this is like a big first for me. So, I don't take it lightly. I don't take anything for granted. And I'm just truly grateful for the opportunity for our vice president of intercollegiate athletics to see something in me and decide that, they should at least give me an opportunity to apply for the position, interview for the position, because I know a lot of times people only want those that have, significant experience. And
Right,
so,
right.
I just felt like it was very beneficial. I have been a loyal person to the program. I've always wanted the best for the student athletes. I teach classes on campus as well within health and kinesiology, and I'm always looking out for my students. So, I'm just a big fan of my university, and I just always want the best for it. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Right. Now, with that being said, I was going to mention you've also been on the staff teaching classes. Will you still continue to teach classes, or will you just transition over to full-time coaching?
That load, I will still be teaching, but it will definitely be a lighter load because I
Okay.
was teaching full time. I had five different classes, so that will be reduced tremendously. So, I'm grateful for that too.
So now with that, you have to replace your old position now. Do you have a short
hmm
list in mind, or are you going to have to kind of wade through the water to sort out what's available?
There is a short list, but I'm definitely going to be making phone calls. I've been reaching out to people and talking to people and everything, just trying to kind of find out who would actually line up best with my vision for the program and, who's going to come in, similarly to my heart and make sure that we're doing the best for the student athletes. So it's not a very long list, but a short one, but I still want to make sure that I read through and, make sure that we solidify the right people.
Okay, we're speaking right now with Miss Gabby Floyd, newly hired volleyball coach for the Texas Southern Tigers. She's just all giggity behind all that right now. She likes to. I think she's making fun of me because I'm a Panther, but that's okay. We'll get to the bottom of all that real soon. Now you're being hired at a strange time to be involved with
Yeah.
athletics right now. We have COVID going on, and I know a lot of people have been discussing if is there going to be any football this fall, but there are other
Right.
sports, i.e., volleyball, cross country, and soccer.
Mhm.
What have you been doing mentally to get yourself ready for what could be or what could be not a 2020 season?
One thing I have not been doing is stressing out about it because, whatever the plan is, that's how it's going to be. So all we can do is continue to prepare. The young ladies are working out and doing things. I'm trying to do a lot of things administratively and, just kind of getting the line for the season in case we are able to have a season. Things that I've been hearing that it may be shortened, and things like that. We might have new dates and a new schedule. But, I'm just one of those people that don't believe in worrying myself behind things that I can't control.
Amen
And
to that,
so,
sister. Amen to
yeah.
that.
So, whenever things come out and they say, hey, this is how we're going to move forward, then we just going to go ahead and move forward. Always trying to make sure that everybody's safe, because I have a daughter as well. And, I would want my daughter to be safe with in anybody else's hands. So that's one of those things that's extremely important to me.
Absolutely.
Is I really care about these young ladies and, want to make sure that they're able to be safe and their families are, secure and comforted by the things that we're doing.
Okay, now is your daughter a volleyball player as well?
We don't see.
Uh oh.
She's 8. Yeah, she's 8. So, I'm one of those people. I'm big on introducing her to everything. So she's been, around volleyball and she likes trying to work on skills and things like that. But right now, I know her heart is in swimming. So we definitely gonna push that. But I want to expose her to everything. So if she decides that she really does like volleyball, we definitely gonna push that.
Oh, no
But if
doubt
she
at all.
doesn't, Yeah, but if she's not good in it, I'm not gonna force her.
Oh,
we just
thank
gonna
you.
find what
Thank you,
we gonna
Coach.
find what works.
Thank you, Coach. You're not gonna be one of them coaches. Look, put a little magic in. Look, put a little baby. Little magic can't play dead on Halloween night at midnight. So I understand. And thank you
Exactly.
so much for that, Coach. I greatly appreciate that. We're talking right now with Miss Gabby Floyd, the newly hired volleyball coach at Texas Southern. Now, look, you've been the assistant. You've been under two different coaches and some similar philosophies. And I can already hear you now. Man, if I was coaching, I would do it like this and I would do it like that. What is the Gabby Floyd philosophy and approach to her softball team? I'm sorry, to her volleyball team.
Well, I am a big component of teaching and making sure that the student athletes understand the game. So, the better their volleyball IQ can be, I feel like it'll be a whole lot easier to train, to teach, and the games will be a whole lot more fun. And so, I can be a stickler for some things, discipline on the court and things like that, are really important to me. And then also just wanting to make sure that everybody's able to actually enjoy what they do. That's not one of those things. Like, I loved my time as a player. Every year I feel just got better and better. I love my teammates. We had a good time, and, I loved winning, hate losing. And, it was just fun. We talked a lot of noise on the team, too.
Oh,
So,
I can already tell that, and trust me, I've seen you in action, remember? So, yeah, I already know that. I was going to bring that up anyway, but I didn't mean to interrupt. Carry on, ma'am.
that's all
Carry
right.
on.
But for me, those kind of things just kind of heighten the whole experience of the game. It's all in fun. Yeah, we're going to talk about you and tell you had a terrible hit or something like that, but it's just to help you step your game up, too. You step your game up, we're going to step our game up, and we're just going to have a good time.
Well, you know what?
So.
I'm an old SWAC baseball player, and part of the
Nice.
SWAC flavor was a little lip service, just
Yeah.
in just, but they didn't got
Yeah.
politically correct these days, and you can't really talk about it. I'm aging myself on it, but that's okay.
Look.
Look, because if you knew you was good, you didn't have to talk that
Right.
much. But when you did say something, they heard you loud and clear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, but I can't. You can't say nothing. They don't even want you saying nothing in the stands anymore. No fan participation, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I digress. We're talking with Gabby Floyd, volleyball coach of the Texas Southern Tigers. Now, what is your rotation preference? Like, everybody have what they like to. What do you like to run in your sets and formations?
Well, it honestly depends on the personnel. If we can just have just one setter and she stays in the game, that would be fine. But that's not always optimal. That's not always our situation. Sometimes we have to run a 6-2 where we have the setters, coming in and out of the game and things like that. But I love 6 rotation players. If they can stay on the court and play front row and back row, that's always a good thing for me. That was how I rolled. I didn't understand coming out the game unless it was a timeout. So, as soon as the timeout's over, let's get back in the game.
I know that's right.
So, those are some of the things that I like, just helping to minimize substitutions and things like that and be able to allow the players to kind of stay in a groove as much as possible. But, if somebody's not getting it done, then you can come on the side, cheer on your teammates, and let's get somebody in that's going to do it.
Right, and that really comes to, as you mentioned, the recruiting, which you were mainly responsible for most of the recruiting as the assistant. Will you still focus on recruiting, or will you kind of pass that down to your assistant that you bring aboard?
Oh, no, I feel like everybody should be involved in recruiting. Like, we should all be on one accord with the players that we really like. 'Cause having more eyes on a player can kind of help, because somebody might see something that I don't see, and vice versa. And so, just trying to find out who would be the best fit. I believe in having everybody on board. So I would definitely not let that go, and I would always want to have other people having eyes on the young ladies too.
Okay, now I'm pretty sure that since you've been hired, you've heard about the new additions to the conference, and a lot of people getting excited about the football piece, but from volleyball, it just got a little deeper in SWAC water, did it not?
It did. It did. And I think it kind of helps that we had started to do a SWAC MEAC challenge. So now, the teams are not unfamiliar to us because we had seen some of the teams in those early tournaments as well. So
Right.
we've seen Florida and we've played Bethune, and we were trying to get to a Bethune tournament this year too, but the
Well,
SWAC
you
had
don't
changed
have
the
to worry about
schedule.
that any
And
longer,
then
do you?
COVID, I know, right, right.
Well,
So we always been trying to get to Florida anyway.
right. Well, speaking of Bethune, Bethune's got a Houston connection with their head
hmm
coach, and so a
Yes,
lot of familiarity when it comes to recruiting volleyball
yes.
players. And it appears from outside looking in that a
hmm
lot of universities, such as your Howards, your Bethunes, your FAMs,
hmm
and even Hampton, they have success coming to get Houston volleyball players. What's going on with
True.
that, Coach?
Well, all I can say is similar to me. I was looking for a way to get out of the Houston area just to be away from home and have a new experience. And so a lot of times that's just a part of it. People want to be able to do something different, not that they just that eager to get away from home, but just to have a new experience. Because for some people, they've never left the city, so now it's a perfect opportunity, especially if you have a scholarship. That's a perfect reason for you to go ahead and leave and see how other people live within the country and things like that. And
Okay.
so, I think a lot of times that's a big part of it. People just kind of wanting a different experience if they've been here all their lives.
Okay. So you felt like that, then you got tricked
hmm
into going to Texas Southern, and you kind of said, you know what, it's not bad staying in
That
Houston.
was a
I
great,
understand.
great blessing.
I understand. I understand, and you won't hear no argument out of me at all. Now, when we get to the scheduling and all
hmm
that, and I'm just assuming that your fall schedule is already laid out and stretched out, how will you go about scheduling, and what type of matches would you like to see the Texas Southern Tiger volleyball program take under your direction?
Well, actually, I had been doing the scheduling for the past few years anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we always try to get a few matches. Like if we can travel and go somewhere, especially if we can fly at least every other year, that would be nice. Get to one of the coasts or something like that and just kind of step out and go to some of these other tournaments. We like to look for those. But we definitely play a lot of out of conference teams just to kind of get our girls to see volleyball in a different area and, just kind of figure out, how things work in preseason so we can go ahead and prepare for our conference matches as well.
Right.
And so, we don't have any issues playing the PWIs and things like that. Definitely don't mind playing other HBCUs. But, a lot of times it also deals with, how far we can travel, and budget and things like that. So we always have to be mindful of those.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, and when you talk about budgets, and we all know
hmm
that all budgets are not created equal, and
True.
we talk about the lion's share, it's more of the crumbs for some of our
hmm
institutions. How
True.
do you make the most out of the minimum when it comes to
hmm
recruiting? How do you recruit? I know with the COVID now, everybody has reached out by way of Zoom and all these
Yeah,
other avenues. Do you see that as being part of your extended form of recruiting in the future?
I do. Like we get emails, I could get easily like 25 to 30 different emails a day. And so, email stays full. So it's always film to watch. Different coaches are reaching out, or else they're making themselves available when we need to reach out to them as well. And so, with everything with COVID, like this is just kind of what we have to do, and it does help with budgeting for sure, because if I can stay home and watch film and things like that, that helps at least narrow down the kids that I need to go and see.
Right,
But
right.
I definitely prefer to have actual eyes on kids because I like to see how they warm up. I want to see how they interacting with their teammates, with their coaches. Are they listening to their parents in the stands versus listening to their coach? Like all of those different things matter. What kind of energy do you have? What kind of volleyball IQ do you have? I want to see all those kind of things. And, when you're watching highlight reels, that's exactly what it is, just a highlight. And so, I want to see the true person and, kind of get to see their identity on the court and then as well, talk to them and figure out who they are as a person. I always got to make sure that they're intended major, is something that we have, because it's all about graduation. It's not definitely not all about the sport. So we got to make sure that those things will line up so that they would be a good fit for the university.
No doubt about it. Now, Coach, you got to be honest with me right now. How many pieces of film and emails you get when the athlete is just terrible? On a scale of 1 to 10, and you be like, I can't believe they wasted my time to even send me this stuff. Don't call out no names or no institutions, but when you look at it, do you call your staff? Can y'all believe somebody would actually send this? How many of them you get on a scale of 10 out of 10, Coach?
We don't get as many. We used to get a whole lot more, but now I think people are kind of, weeding all of that out. And kind of being a little bit more realistic about their goals and things like that.
Yeah.
But also, I think one of the things, too, like when we go into some of these different camps and things like that, with the collegiate coaches, we get to sit and talk to all the participants and just kind of explain to them, like, D1 is not your only option. Don't look at an HBCU like, oh, that's just Texas Southern or that's just Prairie View. Like, we have high standards as well.
Absolutely.
So, if you come here and you thinking, oh, I could just give my bare minimum, don't be mad when we say thank you, but no thank you.
That's
we're
right.
trying to win, and, we really have great programs. And that's one of those things that had not been preached, as much in the past, because people like to always look at, oh, the school is so big, they have so many people on, their facilities look like whatever, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best fit for you. So we always try to push, for kids to find their right fit.
Right.
Whatever level it is, whatever conference, find your right fit.
Don't treat us like no second-class citizens. And I love how you put Texas Southern over Prairie View first. I caught that, Coach. I caught that, Coach. I'm, but since this is your moment to shine, I'm not going to rain on your parade right now. We're talking with
I have a sense of humor.
Hey, you know what? That's what makes the world go round, right? We're talking with Gabby Floyd, head volleyball coach of the Texas Southern Tigers. Now, you spoke about when you're visiting with collegiate coaches, and we know that volleyball has exploded within the last 10 years. We could safely agree with that. You have all this club volleyball teams going on. I have my opinion, but I want to hear from a coach's perspective. These are some great things, and they can also be some detrimental things. What is your take on club volleyball?
I think it's a great avenue, especially to continue learning in the sport, to continue play. Since our sport is just in the fall, so now you are able to play in the spring and the summer and things like that. It's good to be able to get some different experiences as well, learning from different coaches, because if you have a goal or a dream to make it to college, you don't know what kind of coach you're going to get. And so the more experience you can have under different coaches and learning different things, different ways, it can help you be more adaptable when you get to that college, and be able to adapt to that coach's plan and that coach's scheme. One of the toughest things is to only see things done one particular way and feel like that's the only way. I learned it this way, so this is how it has to be. And then somebody come and rock your world because they want to change something up the road. It could be a small detail or something, but a lot of times kids will get stuck on that. So, club volleyball, I think, is a good way to be seen as well. Because when coaches are not in season or just in the spring season, we have more freedom to get out and go and see players, since we can't always be at their high school games. So it gives them more exposure and everything like that as well. So there are a lot of different pluses. Now, for the parents, I would say, club volleyball can be very expensive. So you definitely making an investment in your child when it comes to that. Definitely want to find the right fit for your player there, because sometimes club volleyball can be a bit political, And so there are a lot of, I would say that there are more pluses than there are minuses. But I would always say that it's a good idea. And for those individuals that cannot afford to go to clubs, those are the ones that definitely need to be pushing more of their high school situations, trying to make sure that people can see them and film, and just kind of getting their name out there as well.
Right. So other than the high school avenues, and I know the club is the way, and someone who might be financially challenged because this COVID has shook everyone's pocketbooks. Do you have any other potential alternative ways of that volleyball player honing in on some of their skills?
Some people have gotten, family members to kind of help out, whether it's just tossing balls to them or something like that. But other people have been able to locate like personal trainers and things to kind of help that can actually teach them skills in the midst as well. And if that is an alternative route. If you can't be out, or be on a club team, it could be expensive, but if you're still getting training and you're still growing, then that's always a positive.
Okay. Now, the personal trainers can get pretty expensive too, couldn't they?
They can. They can. But if you look at it like paying for a whole season versus paying for, certain amount of training, you just kind of have to balance it out and figure out what works best. There are a lot of people, and just if somebody's too expensive and they're unwilling to work with you, find somebody else.
There you go. Next train smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
look, I'm appreciating you so much taking time out of your schedule to be a part of us here with the Open Mic Broadcast Network. But something that I was a huge fan of, and I'm hoping, I've been hearing through the grapevine that there's a possibility that these roundups will no longer be. And I thought they were exceptionally brilliant ideas. That way you get to see every conference school in one location for that weekend. Are they talking about dismantling that, Coach?
We honestly, there's conversation every year trying to figure out what works best. And, I think some people are saying, yes, it's really great. And other people are saying, well, it's about the same when it comes to budget and things like that. So they have those debates. I was not privy to those conversations as much. I would just wait on the final details, like, okay, this is what we're doing. All right, let's go. But, we do talk about it. It seems like it's been talked about every year, like in the head coaches meeting, like what we feel would be the best route to go, and things like that, and where we should spread it out and who would host and things like that.
Okay, well, now that you're going to be allowed at the table now, what do you think? What would you prefer?
I don't mind the roundups as long as they are at least over like the 3 days that we had moved it to, because originally it was like a 2-day thing, and that was just really, really tough on the girls, and it can be grueling on the bodies, I will say that, because playing 5 matches with 3 teams, and, we have some pretty strong competition in the conference, so, that could be a little tough. And like this past season, when we were at the roundup at Jackson, we actually lost 2 middles in one single match, and that was really, really tough. So we had a lot of adjusting that we had to do, from losing 2 players in one match. So, that part is kind of look at it like, all right, maybe we need to pace it out, but you can't ever predict when somebody will be injured and things like that. You always hope that it would never happen,
right?
But that's unrealistic, and so it can be tough on the bodies, but at the same time, it is good to be able to be in one location sometimes, just for fans and things like that. The parents that want to come out, they can see their children play in multiple matches versus having to travel from state to state to see it happen. So, either way it goes, I've been here for a long time and we never had roundups when I was playing. So, I'm good either way.
I know that's right. Right. Time does bring about a change. And, Coach, I'm thanking you so much for making yourself available. Miss Gabby Floyd, head volleyball coach at Texas Southern. We have a custom here, Coach, that we allow our guests to have some closing thoughts and comments, and the floor is now yours, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I just want to say thank you so much for reaching out to me. I thought that was really awesome. So consider a little of me. But, I do have some family members, I will say, that, and some friends that graduated from that little school up north. And so, it's always a love-hate. But, in competition, is we hate everybody until, it's not us. So I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to speak and allowing people to get to know a little bit more about me. I can be a little bit quiet and things like that until it's game time and things like that. So, I would just hope that everybody would continue to be supportive of their different sports and come out and watch us play whenever you can. Socially distanced, of course, but we're just hoping that everything will get back on track some kind of way and that people would just continue to stay healthy, stay strong, and have faith.
Well, that little school up north that you dare to call the name out on is Prairie View A&M University that sits on top of the hill, baby girl. And I just want you to understand, I will wish you nothing but luck until you face the mighty Panthers. And then it's game on. But I do want to thank you so much and promise that you will not be a stranger to us here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network in the very near future. How does that sound?
Sounds great to me. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. She is Miss Gabby Floyd from that other school east of us. That
the Texas University.
Look, they got that maroon and gray, whatever they want to call that stuff down there. But whatever it is, we do thank her for being a part. We thank you all for joining in with us. Thank our sponsors for being a part of today's episode. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.